In this video, we'll show you how to replace the strut on your forward edge. This is located in the front of the vehicle and behind the wheel. Let's get started. With the vehicle raised and supported, we can remove the lug nuts with a 21 millimeter. And we can go ahead and remove the wheel. I'm going to use a set of locking pliers on the back side of the sway bar link. Got a small collar on the back side and just clamp onto that. We can remove the nuts for the sway bar link with a 19 millimeter. We can pop this clip off the strut. I'm using a trim tool. You can certainly use a flathead screwdriver for this though. Now we can remove our lower strut bolts using a 24 socket and a 21 wrench. I'm going to reinstall the nut so it's flush with the end of the bolt, and then we can tap that with a hammer. We can remove the nuts. We can disconnect the brake hose from the strut with a 10 millimeter. In our case, the bolt broke. That's okay. The new strut will have this opening here, and we can just acquire a new bolt. Moving up into the engine bay, we look at the driver's windshield wiper. We have a little rubber cap covering up a nut. Now we can use a 15 millimeter socket and remove the nut. Now I've installed a puller onto the wiper arm. We can start to tighten that down. And we can remove the arm. And we can do the same on the other side. We have a plastic clip towards the driver's side here. I'm using a clip tool. You can certainly use a flathead screwdriver to pop this out though. Pop the middle out, and we can get the rest of the clip out. And we can do the same on the other side. Now we have 7 of these retaining clips along the cowl. And simply pull them off. There's a small clip behind this section of the cowl. You can simply grab onto that, push out towards the windshield, get that released. We can do the same on the other side as well. Now we can pick up on the cowl grill and pull out. And we can remove this from the vehicle. Over on top of the driver's side fender, we have 2 8 millimeter bolts. And we have 1 more 8 millimeter towards the inside of the vehicle. Now we can go ahead and remove this clip as well. I'm using my clip tool. You can certainly use a flathead screwdriver. Now for those 3 8 millimeters and that clip, we can do the same on the other side. Now we can lift up on the cowl, and I'm going to use a strap to secure it up. Now we can remove the two 8mm bolts holding in our wiper motor, and then we can just set that off to the side. Now we can go ahead and remove our three 13mm bolts for the strut. You do want to leave one threaded in just a little bit to hold it while you remove the strut. Now you can support the strut. We'll remove that last 13, and we can remove the strut. We can get the strut lined up. While you support the strut, you can get the first bolt started in. Once you get the first bolt started in, that'll help hold it up. You can get the other two bolts in. Now we can start to get the strut lined up with the knuckle. I'm going to use an awl to line up the bolt holes. And get the nuts started on. And we can clip the ABS wire in place. Now we can snug these down. And we can torque these to 173 foot-pounds. We can get the sway bar lined up and into the strut. We can get the bracket for the ABS wire back on. Get the nut started on. And hold the collar on the back side. And we'll snug that down. And we can torque this to 85 foot-pounds. We can get the grommet for the ABS wire back in place. We can get our brake hose in place. We'll get the hardware in. And we can snug that down. And we can torque these to 26 foot-pounds. We can get the wiper motor back in place. Get the hardware started in. And we can snug these down. And we can unhook that and remove our strap. Lower down our cowl. Start to line everything up. We can get the hardware started in. We can snug these down. And we can get the clip in on the back side of the cowl. And we can do the same with those three bolts and that clip on the other side. We can get our cowl grill back in place. You want to get the back portion on the windshield lined up first. You can press in on each of the clips on either side of the windshield. We'll get the clips in on either side. We get our wiper blades back on. There's a small T shape inside the windshield here. Go ahead and take the wiper, line it up with the T, and we can tighten that down. There's a small block underneath where the wiper blade mounts, and that will allow it to line up correctly. Get the nut on. We'll snug that down. And we can torque this to 18 foot-pounds. You want to hold on to the wiper blade. Don't forget to reinstall the cap, and we can do the same on the other side. And we can get each of our clips back on. Can help to push down onto the cowl grill. We'll reinstall the wheel. And we can line up the lug studs with the holes in the wheel. I'm going to press in down at the bottom of the wheel. And we can install the lug nuts. I like to thread the first one all the way in, and that'll help hold the wheel in while I put the other lug nuts on. And we'll snug those down in a star pattern. With the vehicle on the ground, we can go ahead and torque these to 162 foot-pounds in a star pattern. Take the vehicle for a test drive and make sure you don't hear any abnormal noises. Thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.